So I'd like you to raise your hand if you have a friend who likes to talk about a topic too much. Almost everybody. Okay, so a few weeks ago I realized that I'm that friend, except that instead of stories about a cat or US politics or the latest phone, my topic that I like to talk about is animal genitalia. And I came to this realization through work because part of my job, as she said, is to help scientists tell their stories. And the particular research that I was helping was from people here at UBC, and they had found these new species of flatworms. And unlike flatworms' more famous cousins, the tapeworms that live in animal guts, these are tiny little flatworms that live in between grains of sand and on seaweed. They're only about the size of a poppy seed. And what they found was where they thought was one species, there was actually 4. And they did that with DNA, and they also have very unique penises. And so I spent the week drawing flatworm penises, which look like a hollow screw, and then each species has a different sort of shape grooves on that. And so that seemed pretty normal for me, except that right as the moment as I was promoting this graphic that I'd made about that, the venerable Canadian program Quirks and Quarks retweeted a tweet that I had sent out 2 weeks prior that just said, "You had me at oddly large beetle penis." So 70,000 followers saw that. And the full article was actually about how this oddly large beetle penis could help with medical research. So this tiny little, less than a centimeter long beetle has a very flexible penis, and it has that because the female has a sort of topsy-turvy duct that goes back and forth, so the male needs a penis that can also do that. So it's both flexible and stiff, which can help in the research for catheters. I thought that was pretty cool. So as I sort of got into this and realized that I'm that person, rather than stop, I fell headfirst into an information rabbit hole of animal genitalia. And where that led me was something called sexually antagonistic coevolution, or unfortunately, it's called SAC, which is, and what that is sort of termed as an arms race, where males and females are competing against each other to see who can evolve faster and better ways to mate. And I thought that was inappropriate because arms, and what do arms have anything to do with this? And then I found out about the argonaut, and the argonaut is this weird species of octopus, and it swims around in the ocean, so it's not on the bottom. And the females build this sort of shell around them that holds the eggs and can suck in air and helps them be buoyant. And the males are about 600 times less massive than them. They're tiny. And what happened is the famed naturalist George Cuvier thought that these nautiluses had parasitic worms on them when he found them, and it turns out that was from the male. And what the male does is it has a specialized arm called a heterocotylus, and that means hollow thing. And essentially what that does, it's not actually their genitalia, but it gives sperm, and they can detach it, and it swims through the water and attaches to the female. So our arms race was potentially appropriate. And from there I thought, where else can I go from there? And are there creatures that I think I know a lot about, but are actually weirder than I think? And I got to kangaroos. And kangaroos, I mean, I've been to Australia, I've seen them, I didn't think anything about their sexual behavior. And it turns out, with humans we like to say you have a bun in the oven, but kangaroos have had a kitchen upgrade. They have multiple ovens, they have 2 uteri and 3 vaginas. Basically what this allows them to do is have a older joey outside their pouch, a younger joey inside their pouch, and one forming in their uterus, all at the same time. So pretty cool evolution. And what I've learned throughout this whole process are 2 things. One is that I didn't so much fall into that information rabbit hole of animal genitalia, but so much as I jumped in. And secondly, that evolution is infinitely fascinating, and I hope I still have friends. Thank you.